Alrighty, guys. We are live directly through Twitch and YouTube. I just wanted you guys to know that, and I needed the trans emoji for a thing. But we are updating to 1.59. Some things have changed. If you remember, in 1.58, I wanted to share with you guys that the mods are going to slightly change again. It does not matter, for what it's worth. Um, Oops, I meant to go to 1.58 American truck, not Euro truck. Fuck. We are, showing you guys what is new within what has been changed. Basically, that was basically the last thing for it. But, if you notice, down here, this is what I would end up. I did not use Better Sierra Nevada. I used this. And then in Canada, we took out all of that. Hit apply. And I took out Reforma. It was 29 modifications to it. 29. Now, because we are in the USA, we no longer have Idaho, Nevada, Oklahoma, Oregon, Texas, Utah, Washington, and California. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have now dropped down to utilizing utilizing Reformer Sierra Nevada is being used currently for the update in 1.59. As of right now, we are now utilizing basically we take out Reforma. If you add Reforma, the only difference is you might want to remove Reforma Sierra Nevada, but you don't need to. If you don't have access to Reforma, you will be fine. I'm pretty sure. I will double check when we get launched in, because we do need to check Nevada area itself. Because we should not have any because I can't use Reforma. I wanted to check to see if we had any problems. We do. Since I don't have Reforma, no. We're gonna go to title screen real quick. It's gonna require me to change some things around. I realize I can't use Reforma because I'm missing some stuff for it, so I can't use Reforma Sierra Nevada for it. Can't use Coast to Coast. So yeah, so I will drop Reforma out of line. We're going to tick all of these boxes for now, because I'm wanting to see. You still need the Reforma Mega resource though, for it, but I wanted to tick all of those boxes, and then we add and apply Reforma, which is only the 3. Project Better Arizona Reforma connection is going to be gone, and Reforma is going to be gone as well. So that's going to basically take that down there. And I also need Reforma Other Maps Compatibility Patch. I think is the... Whoops. Yeah, that's the only other one that needs to be gone through. I forgot that I can't use Reforma because I don't have my logo in there. I'm not utilizing it anymore. I'm gonna... So Reforma there. We need to remove that. For just a couple of mods, not 3, just a couple. Things did get... we used to be able to run with 43 mods and things. But it's still gonna require for me to do this. I'm gonna take one trip today, for this evening. Cynthia, if you're gonna if you're gonna have your Discord, if you're gonna send me to your Discord, make sure that your Discord and your username on Twitch. Okay, so it literally crashed on me. So I missed. So it literally crashed on me. If we cannot get into American Truck Simulator right now, then we're gonna have to go back and go through other things. And to be clear, this is modifying the game. I will probably, since it's gonna tell me to load continue career, I'm gonna have to probably go back by one. Because basically, as you can see, okay, so now let's go back here. Okay. I'm gonna go all the way back here. Because that save file is pretty much basically corrupting my thing, and I don't want to be corrupting my save file. And I should not be... Okay, so something is crashing. I wonder... I wonder if there is a... Okay, so we gotta check our mod selection again. Go through from the top to bottom, not counting the extra mods, and see if there is a thing I need. Because that's the problem is, so it's full, so we do have, so full screen, hold on. We need to go down here and select you. Okay. Then we have that I need to remove the small HUD mirrors as well. Okay. Original loading screen. Ultimate combo beyond Canada fix. Then beyond Terra. Oh. Okay, Sierra Nevada. Okay, much better. Sierra Nevada needs to also be removed. I was like, wait, I should be having 3 mods removed. Instead of the 2. I see. Okay, so we're good. Because I can't use the Sierra Nevada stuff. Finally figured it out. Because I can't run with Sierra Nevada right now. Can't run with that. Okay. I can't run with that because of the issue with so yeah, so Nevada's not gonna have as feature rich as a lot of places, but we are in Bellingham. That one's going all the way down to there, which I don't want to do. That is, if it's a 38-hour... Abilene... Night Winning... Butte... No, that's just a regular cargo market. But since we're up here, that's going to 30 hours down that way. That's going to Riverton, Secarno, by that. Let's do, hold on, we're gonna do price per distance. That's the best one for 30 hours. That's the best there. But if we go to the cargo market, I want to go over here and say that that's the better price per distance. Is 57. 57. That's going to be the best one. Um, for it. That's still slightly, that one's still slightly better though, for profit though. But that's 4 hours, um, things like that. That's still the longest trip time ever, but I think I want to get the most money out of my thing. Um, that offer expires in 4 hours. Its total trip time is 4 hours. Um, um, yeah, I am going to Burns, Oregon, I think. We haven't been that way yet. We have been to Vancouver, Washington, so let's go down to Burns. We haven't been down that way. For what it's worth. Okay, so we know that that's not gonna be... But service, we're going to confirm. Place all. Now we've got a new truck available, in the game. Let's go, to truck dealers. We got a new Volvo available for us. It's buy online. Um, um, what is it? The Volvo VNL 2000. Hold on, let me check. Um, I only have 2 trucks in here. Um, let me check. Um, Okay, so we have the Volvo V and L. Um, let me... No, hold on. Okay. Back to game. I want to go... out and see... newest... Okay, so the latest release... So we don't have the new truck is not out yet, but it is coming. Yeah, we have the Volvo VNL 2018 though. But we do not have okay. Let me go look up SC. Let's go. Library. Let me go check over to the discussions. News. The all new Volvo VNL. Because this
Volvo Trucks Customer Center in Dublin.
Because this is what it is. Okay, hold on. That's not the right one. South Dakota's coming a long way. Which will be one I will definitely probably pick up. Okay, yeah. I don't know if it's out already. Because we have the Volvo, because according to this, we still, we have the Volvo VNR electric though. Apparently, let me go to catalog, Truck Explorer, because of this. Okay, so we should have Okay, so we should have 3. Um, because the Volvo V and hold on, because the Volvo V and L. Okay, so the Volvo V and L 2024 is this truck right here for this one. So this is the newest Volvo. Like I said, I don't usually. And then we go with the 500 liter, 12 plus 2 speed. And then we have the Ocean Drive. Retro Fun. So we'll get into this one later. Because I want to drive. I'm gonna start just picking up every truck in America, I think, this time. But we're gonna primarily have like a small line of Pride stuff. We're gonna do Pride stuff first. Now I gotta remember to drive on the right side of the road. Because, you know, we've been driving in driving in Japan for quite some time. We gotta remember how to drive, in America. That's gonna be by Friday, Saturday. Now, of course, there's some things, that you guys probably didn't know. Within the 1.5, within the 1.59 update, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, on the right-hand side of your screen, usually on the left-hand side if you're driving in Europe, or driving on the left-hand side of the left side of your screen if you're in Japan, you now have your amount of money that you earn on a daily basis. And then also on the right hand, yeah, we're probably going to it's trying to calculate route. But I'm going to mark it that way so that for but we do got a lot of that update. But things are slow. I don't know why they didn't release the thing for the radio section, but I think they're kind of trying to get the radio set up. But in 1.56, I mean not 1.56, in 1.6 of ATS and ETS, there's probably going to be a new radio selection. Normally you get this kind of selection where you get your or update and you get all these radio stations here that I can't play for you because of copyright issues and copyright laws and stuff. And things like that. But I am going to be utilizing Japan primarily for Europe. We do come to America once in a while to drive because in America we um because I'm going to tell you I am actually more of a European truck driver. I really like driving in Europe more than America, and only because of the truck standard. The trucks are a lot better for Europe. I like the European trucks better. And I think what they really need to focus on is I would basically say that if the truck or the manufacturer, okay, is real built for certain things, where I know I can bypass it, but I'm going up here to rest, because I need to rest. Um, so I don't need to stop at the way station. Up ahead. I am just going to use I'm confused. To where I see. I did not see you over here. Yeah. No. So what the 900 is like nothing to me. But driving here in America is one of those things that is just a kind of a thing that's going on with um, processes and things. Um, you know, let me go to options because I'm pretty sure. I need to go back to setting to ultra settings because because of that. But I will tell you, one of the things that really bothers me, um, that bothered me to no end, is people name calling other people, people putting things look, I know that within today that we're supposed to be talking about the a lot of trans thing news, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me um that one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys on today is that, look, that there are a lot of things where we need to focus on uh, not putting names, calling other people. You look at one of the things that they did was pot shot James Tallarico on basically claiming that he's a vegan, putting words into James Tallarico's mouth, calling him a transgender, calling him these nonsense name calling. Okay, this is ridiculous. You are now basically falling in and believing that you are calling people by their own, calling people what they are not. Lying right in front of the face, right in front of him, right in front of the face of many. And to be honest, even if he was a vegan, still wouldn't mattered. Okay, there are a lot of people who are vegans out there that I don't care. You eat, you do what you do. You do you. Okay, like if you're a vegan, you're a vegan for a reason. Okay, there are some people out there that are semi-vegan that will eat some things but will not eat other things, and then there are a whole lot of things with that, and that's your freedom to make your own decision with that. Freedom to to choose how you want to do your life, how you want to live, um, and that's fine. Don't push a thing on others, but also don't ban. But then don't go out and ban other content because you don't like. Don't go out and ban LGBTQ stuff because you don't agree with it. Don't ban it in school if you're wanting to force religion into schools. Because if you force religion, you also have to force LGBTQ in the school too. So don't. So if you're the one that really claims to be a freedom-loving American, okay, and you love America and you want to do that, then you have to support that freedom of being able to pick our own religion, being able to have that ability to freely speak our minds the way that we want to speak, of course. But it does not affect a private business. If a private business decides that they don't want to support your thing, that's different than a public business or a public government or public institution, okay, that basically they have the right to freely speak that way. And that includes a school. Schools banning or governments banning LGBTQ because they don't want to hear about it, because they don't want to believe in it, they need to change that. They need to fix their issue on that. I am seriously, if you're in a public library banning books because you want to ban books for what it's worth, no, banning books is not right either. Okay, if you don't want a book being being placed in a kid, it's understandable when it's in an elementary library. Okay, But when it's a library that is directly a public library, a library for the public, and allowing for people to come in to get a book at, say, 6 o'clock at night when school's out, and it's the only and you're in a public school, but that's the only library that you have available in town, then then you shouldn't be banning it there. You should not be banning books because you disagree with a book. Okay, I will tell you, I will not disagree. I will not disagree with LGBTQ. Disagree with LGBTQ. I do not disagree with a lot of the stuff that goes on with it. You know, the famous adult hub site has now basically added another thing that you can go out and do. If you're thinking you wanted to get away from The Sims because you don't like what The Sims 4 is doing, think again. There's another game out there called Paralives that also has LGBTQ content in it. You will not be able to escape the LGBTQ content. You will not. And putting people into segregating people because of their gender identity, putting them in to bathrooms that are into porta potties and things like that is not right. Basically, then how about we start doing that with every Republican out there that wants to be. Then why don't we put you all out into porta potties, and then see how you like it. See how you like it. And make you use a porta potty 24/7, 7 days a week. That means you cannot go out in public without using a porta potty. Okay? Let's see how you like it. Let's see how you like it. And see how you stand by watching the content on that and see how you think that a freaking requiring for have their own separate bathrooms, that's even overreaching. Literally they literally called James Tellerico, like, a lot of, like I said, not that, but calling James Tellerico a trans person is basically now they are just literally finding ways to basically stay in power with no repercussion, trying to figure out ways to call somebody this and call somebody that because they don't like that person. They did this with Obama. They claimed that he was not an American citizen, claimed that he was not born in America, claimed that he was born in some off the beaten path of America, and was actually literally born in Hawaii. So they are literally finding ways to stay into office, and they don't care how it is. They literally, in Texas, they literally put up a guy who happens to be very problematic within society. Took illegally out there illegally did some illegal shady things that got him into trouble, that got him away from office, and now he's trying to vie for the Senate, it's ridiculous. And a lot of people are actually probably going to, who voted for John Cornyn, is probably going to vote for James Tallarico now because of him not being endorsed by Trump. And to be honest, anybody that gets endorsed by Trump will not get my vote. Absolutely 100%. Anybody who endorses Donald Trump in their process is also not going to get my vote. So there's a lot of people in this that will not get my vote because of their wavering support for it. And I'm sorry for anybody who is basically, oh, you're gonna. There's a lot of people out there that will go out and complain about problems within society that they don't want to. They want to take away, go after illegal immigrants, or going after immigrants, or even illegal immigrants, going after trans people because of pedophilia, because of problems because of crime, okay? But yet they won't go after, but yet there are people that will not go after the Epstein files. That literally the guy in Nebraska basically said, no, we'll release all the Epstein files. They haven't even, they haven't released all the Epstein files. They have literally sat there and redacted Donald Trump's name out of it because heaven forbid that we subtract a big guy who is currently in office, who has 34 felony accounts that have been basically apparently wiped away from him because of Trump, and all of these things, that he's done a lot more harm to this country than anybody has done, than any other president. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, he's even worse than Bush. He is worse than Bush. He is worse than Biden. He's worse than Obama. He's worse than any other president. He's even worse than Nixon. Okay? And to be honest, if I had to pick the best 21st century president, Obama. I would pick Obama over any other president, over any time, over anybody else. Okay, for the 21st century. Now, I'm going to tell you that and I'm talking since the 2000s, that's the person I would pick over Biden, pick it over Bush, pick it over Trump. Okay, those are the people that I would vote for in a heartbeat. Those are the people that I stand with. On that. I will tell you, I stand with the importance of the entire process of going from standing with things that I always tell you, that I will stand as long as you are not willing to ban books. Okay? As long as you're not willing to, as long as you're willing to, for me, as long as you're willing to support environmental safety in some of these things, in a lot of these things, I will tell you, there are some things that I would allow, and I would allow to basically, if I'm not completely an environmentalist, I still want to be able to make sure that we have the best stuff, clean air and things like that. But I still also want to make sure that we have all different forms of energy and different forms of things. I am somebody that believes that we should have solar, wind, that we should have hydroelectricity, and be able to have not only hydroelectricity but also be able to have coal and oil, and having different forms of energy that we can utilize in all of things. Like I would rather we have gas vehicles and electric vehicles as well, but not ban electric vehicles or ban gas vehicles because gas vehicles is a problem because California says, oh, you have to get rid of. No, I think that what we need to do is, instead of banning these things, figure out a way to make the um, the importance of um, um, making sure that the importance of these things um, are out there, of having that availability, because let me be clear, um, when a um, tornado comes through and gets rid of your solar, you're gonna have a problem. When a when you have these data centers trying to eat up all of your stuff, okay, they're wanting to have the freedom to be able to. I want to be able to have the freedom to be able to own a computer, to be able to play a video game in a way that I'm able to play it offline, I'm able to play it online, I'm able to play it um, in any of these things. And one of the things that I was watching today, I haven't gone through the whole video on it, was about a thing where um, they wanted to basically uh, where Nvidia wants to start putting servers right in front of your yard. They want to start putting servers as if right there in front in your own yard. That they don't seem to really understand that when you do that, there's going to be more risk of data being stolen than actually a server being used in a big data center. I would rather we have these big data centers, and yeah, I don't agree with having the water. They should be able to figure these things out a lot better at doing um, at doing these things, but they're not willing to even do that. They're not willing to, um, you know, like, uh, like if you uh want to ban a um want to be able to have the freedom to use whatever you want, no, as long as that thing does not physically harm or hurt somebody else, then I'm good. I don't care if you're if you download a game from uh 30 years ago, okay? That if you downloaded a game that was released back in the 80s and you want to download it and play it today, you should be allowed to play it however you want to play it. Okay? If you want to play a game that you own, okay? You should be allowed to be able to play those games on an emulator, or be able to play those games on a Windows desktop, on a Linux desktop. You should be allowed to you should be allowed to play your games how you want to play them, and be able to play. Like right now, I am getting a PS2 and a Wii adapter. that I'm going to be utilizing for guitars, specifically Guitar Hero guitars, for that's going to allow for me to utilize, based on um, uh, allow me to play with my PS2 controllers on a PC. That's going to give me, like if I want to play an emulator, playing a game through emulation, I can be able to do that now. Okay, it's not going to require, it's going to require authentication if I'm going to do it through PlayStation 5. But if I'm doing Guitar Hero guitars, that's not going to be any problem. So that'll be able to allow for me to be able to do Rock Band 4 and things like that. But that's basically what I got the Wii guitar for, the Wii guitar connector for. But anyway, let me check our skills. We are fully eco driving. We're now just basically unlocking one more fragile cargo and unlocking those there. No, our account balance is literally $1 million. If we talk about in, we're not even $1 million in euro in Japan yet. We're not even a million. We're barely scratching the surface. In Japan. Um, um, and things like that. We've come to the point of, I understand, like, if the system is currently out, like the Switch and the Switch 2, like, okay, I understand that. I wouldn't want to emulate games like that for that reason. But if you have like a 3DS, any Nintendo system prior to the Switch, you should be allowed to play those games. Okay, because they're no longer being, if I cannot purchase them through those means, I can go back and play them through the Switch. Through emulation, I should be allowed to do that. If I am out there playing games through Xbox or through any device, I should be allowed to play it however I want to play it. Okay? Now, I will tell you, I am not somebody that is a complete Xbox person. I only have the Xbox 360. I've been thinking about modding the system, but I'm like, no, if I'm gonna get an Xbox 360, I want to have one for online use, one for modding the system, and another and basically for that reason. For it. Because I don't want to be here directly playing a game through emulation and stuff when it's modern PS4, PS5 stuff. Like, I don't mind if it's like older PS3, PS1, PS2, PS3. I don't mind when it's Xbox 360 stuff. When the services are no longer available, like the PSP, the PS Vita, I would probably those PlayStation systems as well. Every GameCube game, every Game Boy to Game Boy Advance game. Um, being able to play um, these games without having to be reliant on the internet, um, or being reliant that I should be allowed to play it, even if it's a game that has no longer being sold, no longer being produced, no longer being made, and no longer can I buy that game physically from any store. I mean digitally from any store currently, or buy it brand new from a store. Um, I prefer I would prefer to buy it physically, where I can buy it as much. But if a game costs like $200-300, I'm not going to go out there and go and buy the game. If it's going to cost me $300 just to be able to play a Pokemon game, I'm not going to go buy $30 on that game. I'm not going to spend um, millions of dollars on a game that um, I'm not going to go and and because of it, because I'm not going to be that person that I am literally not somebody that um I am literally somebody that will play her game for what it's worth through any ordeal, any game from from uh from any game, as long as that game is not super expensive. $100 game, not gonna buy it. Um, I'm not gonna go out and buy a. I'm not gonna go out there and buy $500 in a single game to play that game. I should not be I should not be penalized for playing a game like that. That costs $500 now to be able to play that game at any point. I should be allowed to play the game I want to play the way that should be played, and be able to play it that way, and not be penalized for it. You know, that's the freedom that I think that we should be allowed. Like, I don't think we should be allowed. There's a couple things I don't think we should be allowed to do though. I don't think we should be allowed to, um, you know, being able to have a movie collection. Like, if you own the movie, you should be able to allow to rip that movie and be able to watch it wherever you want to watch it. Um, but I also do stand by where we shouldn't be watching movies that if we don't own the game, we don't own these things. Of course. But movies and music are a little bit different than a video game. Okay? The reason why I say that is because if if I can go out and watch that movie, I can go watch that movie on most of these streaming services that I'm paying $15 a month or whatever. Um, are you? No, I hit when I shouldn't have hit a vehicle. And things like that. Like, I don't care as long as that that game is no longer purchasable, no longer playable. Like, I will tell you, I even through um playing American in Euro Truck, I did at one point download this game illegally. At one point. But I did it because I was just like, I don't have the thing. I don't have the ability to buy this. I was in college. Didn't have money. Didn't have anything. And then I finally, when I was able to buy the game, through, I think it was like Euro Truck or American Truck, one of the two. When I was able to buy the game, I was like, okay, I'm buying this. I absolutely love it, and I'm going to be willing to support them. I am willing to buy these. If I'm able to go out and buy the ROM from Nintendo to be able to play it on an emulator, I will do it. I would gladly go out and pay $20, $30 for a ROM to be able to play that game on my emulator. I would be happy if PlayStation decided that we're just going to sell all our older ROM games legally. I'd go out and buy them through that means. If they were able to be bought individually on their system or things like that. But I'm also somebody that was like, I will do that. I am going to be happy with that. I'm going to be happy on that platform of being able to spend buying my game through. Now, I could have probably but that's okay. You know, I am somebody that's willing to buy these games through that, and I'm willing to. That's why I pay for premium. Pay for premium is because I'm playing these games on PlayStation 3, playing them through that way. Now, of course, there are some games out there that, you know, like Rock Band 3 or things like that I can't. I can't physically play that right now. I can't physically play those things. Like, I can go out and play Guitar Hero 3 on my PS2 emulator. I own the game. So I literally am just playing them through that means. Like, the only thing I don't is any PS3 games. Like, I don't have a lot of PS3 games. I have the vast majority of games that I own physically are Steam games, digital library of Steam games, PS2 and 4, and those are the two that I own the most in terms of games, and probably the PS4 and PS5. Just combining those two together. But physically, if we're just talking physically, the PS2 is the most most games that I have physically. Through cartridge, through cases, through non-cases. To be honest, I want to be able to start getting these games on in cases rather than keeping them in a thing, in one of those flip cases that you remember from back in the day when you had a whole bunch of CDs and you wanted to play them. You just take your CD thing, and then you brought it with you and you could play it in your car, kind of thing. I kind of have one of those, but for games. I have a lot of PS1 and PS2 stuff. Like, I am very much, will tell you, if it comes down to systems, if you really go back through the history of my career, the systems that I like the most from each generation, I will tell you, I am a big fan of the, if we go for Nintendo, just going all the way back, I have not touched an SNES. I have not touched an SNES. I have not touched that system specifically. I have not touched any Sega system known to man. I was about to get one, for what it's worth. I was about to get one for that, I was almost going to pick up a Sega system, because I have never touched a Sega. I've never been somebody like that. But in order for me to do that, I need to get a CRT as well, because I feel like I should have something period correct for the Sega systems for that. You know, PS1, um, PS2 as well, for that reason. But I don't. But I'm like, um, but when I have an Xbox 360, it's not for that reason. I would not do it for the PS3. Wouldn't do the same thing. Would not follow for it. On that kind of regard, I'm not somebody that's going to. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, there is no. They have it as no right hand turn here. So if you wanted to, you'd have to probably go and turn yourself there. So I'm just following a lot of the road signs. Like, I'm not going that way anyways, but you know what? I actually realize I always forget. Like, I am so used to driving in Europe and in Japan that, you know, in America we drive on the right hand side of the road. Okay, on the right hand, not left hand. Like, we drive on the um we do left hand drive here. We're on the right side of the road, not the left side of the road. Um, in America, but we also um drive on right hand turns um on red in America, but not everywhere. Um, you can't just turn right on red at every stop at every location in America. You can't. Um, you can't do that every location in America, but you can do it in the most cases throughout America. Sometimes you might not be allowed to change yourself on red. Um, um, hold on, guys. I'm gonna check a thing real quick. I'm checking to see. Going to the PlayStation app real quick. Um, because as soon as I'm done, I'm asking them specifically that thing because um, as soon as I'm finished with this one, because I want to know when these two, because that way then I can I'm still not going to get on when they. I'm still gonna get on. Get off. Tonight before I switch over to. So before two. Um. Before. Scarlett's gonna get on at 11. I don't know when Glass is gonna get on. If they're both getting on at 11 o'clock tonight. Then I am going to basically, as soon as we're done with this haul, I'm going to take a break, and then I'll hop on uh, Fortnite for tonight. Because I am doing Fortnite all night. I have no Save the World daily missions to do. But I need to re-download. I need to shift away, and get the um that's why I did that, is because I need to know um so that I can, and to be honest, like I shouldn't have to, like, there's a lot of things that I shouldn't have to do as well. Like, the part of my freedom is that we should be allowed to have that freedom to be able to, um I forgot it, it's 30 down in here. There's Walbert. Like, in some of these, like, you might only find, like, in Vale, you might only find a couple of things. You might find, like, a store. um you're not gonna find everything there, because not every town in America has a grocery store. Not every town um has a lot of those things in use for, not every town um in America. You might sometimes not have all of the entertainment. You might have to go 30 miles just to go do anything. um you might have to. Yeah, I had my headlights on. What are you talking about? You got about an hour and 26 minutes. Um, and I am starting to get tired, so I don't know. Um, How am I freaking speeding? Are you gotta be freaking kidding me, game? Like, I wasn't even speeding. That's kind of ridiculous. So I. Nope, I cannot pass. I was trying to pass and then I realized nope, can't pass yet. Okay, so glass will be on about 10:30. So we'll take that break. Yeah, we got 43 minutes, so we will be able to get enough time to get there. And then we have to come out over here to rest. So that's not too terrible. Um, but we gotta figure out how we're going to. Hopefully, we don't have to stop at this way station up here. I am wondering if I can get that mod in here that allows for me to change. Trying to turn. Okay, so now it's probably going to get myself get 80 XP for. Alright. Um, we're going to save the game real quick. It's going to be 5/27/26. I'm going to look up a mod for the game. There's one thing I want to look up is Um, what I'm looking for is we need oops, I meant to keep those on. No, I can't. Let me type in barrier. Um, um, okay, we'll see if this works. Um, See where we have the red static barriers? I'm gonna put that into play. And then modified barriers are gonna be right there. Confirm those changes. Hopefully, it's only gonna tell me I'm missing one freaking mod. Um, which just to see if the road barriers do get changed to that, because that's what I want and need. Need. And if the barriers do not get changed to that, then basically, then I'll go back to the red barriers because they will work for what I need. We're gonna go to service. We're gonna confirm. Okay. But I'm not gonna go out and try it now because there is like nothing around that's going to affect that. But I'm gonna take a quick break, guys. I will be right back. I think I might go for a little bit longer. We'll be right back. Told you guys I had to go take a break. I had to take a break and needed to go to the bathroom. Bathroom. Alright, let's go over to services. We have the Volvo VNL 2014 on this. And we also have the 2018 on it. But if we go to the external services, go to the truck dealership, okay. But before we do, let me go to company. Garage. Actually, yeah, that's what I was looking for, is services. Actually, it's under company. Garage manager. Okay, we're over here in Key West. Key West has been focused on the international. Okay, we're gonna leave that there. We have an Revo Stoke. Don't know where that's at entirely. That one's just gonna be perpetually there until I can unlock for... Down here, that's the Freightliner Cascadia 2019 for that one. But in Revo Stock, where I'm going to travel to, just to see where... Okay, so that's where our trailer is. So we're gonna go and we're gonna unlock. We're gonna start by using. Yep, we're gonna go to truck dealers. That was in the right spot. And rebuild stock is what we have up here. We're going to go to stock. We're going to go with the Volvo VNL. Here. We're gonna go with the newer Volvo, the newest Volvo into our fleet line. Now we have the okay. And then ultra-versatile maneuverability, though, is what I want to have I want to have the best maneuverability. I like because if we do that, that's gonna reduce its maneuverability. For it. But I think what I'm going to do is we're gonna do with this one. Slipstream. We got the retro run, which is probably okay. So the Valentine's Day one is that. That's the one that I like the most right now. For that. But we only got 2 dragon paints there. That's our Christmas stuff. Not Christmas time yet, but I just want to see. Sporty. The Age of Steam. So far, the only one I'm liking right now I think let's go over from here. Let's go to the Valentine's Day. Not the Valentine's Day. Let me go over to the space paint, because I don't think I've checked the space. On it, nothing I like out of there, so we're gonna go down here. We're gonna do Ocean's Drive. I am going to go with a completely go full black there. Then I'm gonna put to kind of add like a white shine to it. We could go full on white. We could go full on pink. I want to try something. Let me do. Apply that color preset, and then we'll take and apply that color preset, and then apply with like a white, or we can go and apply a white colored preset with that light blue kind of thing, and that still looks nice, to be real frank. I could also set this and go pink there and just add that little bit of that white to it. But I think and then we go with a little bit of a white paint to it. Because it's a metallic kind of thing, but but I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the pink white on it. But let me see what the retro run looks like. No, I think we'll go with the Ocean's Drive, and then we go by that preset, and then apply white there on it. Then we come down here with the arrow. Side skirts get painted. The edge is nice. I really like the edge. But the ultimate, I think we go ultimate. And I want to go with paint. On there. No, of course we don't get the pride flags there. We had some of the defrost stuff. I'm gonna go to the ultimate setup here. A seagull. No, we're gonna go with these. We're gonna go with okay, so it's progress. We should just go with the progress then. We'll just go with the progress for both of them. The arrow and then standard. And we can go with chrome. There, I do want a little bit of chrome. And then we're gonna go with progress chrome there. Budge. For it. Ultimate. Yeah. Flesh donut. I'll just put the ATS air freshener there. I wanna just remove you. Because normally I would see the flags down here, but I don't even to proceed with that configuration, because we're gonna proceed with that. Okay, we're gonna do our first Volvo truck purchase. Okay, our first Volvo truck purchase. We're going to purchase a second one up here as well. Just because I can. And I have the funds. So now if we go to catalog. Okay, just to go with the catalog. And then say we do go with the Volvo VNL 2018. So pride flags are going to sit and be available for that. And pride flags are going to be available on this. But they have not been updated to work with the newer truck yet. But that's okay. Because we don't need to do that. Let's save our game. I was gonna get off. Now we're going to go to trailer purchase. Um, drive bands. We're going to customize this configuration. We're going to go with the single, but we're going to upgrade it to the 45 sliding tandem. To disable all except for that, and then we're gonna go and choose to follow a that. We also got the Moon Tropicana. And we would follow you per se for a trailer. Now, I'm also just going to do the American truck content. Okay. Now that's the all-new Volvo VNL. No. And then so I think we still cancel that. I think what we do is then we go to my fleet configuration. And then we purchase you. Because if that's the case, I'm going to purchase 2 of these up here. And then I'm going to customize the configuration on this. And then I'm also going to change you down here to the Moon Tropicana as well. To have I have that, and then that's the default cooler. And then we could go with the chrome style. You could go with that kind of style. I like that, to be honest. Not going chrome on it, and then yeah. And that will become part of the one up here as well. Getting a reefer having a reefer, and then I think I will take out the flatbed, and see what we got available up there. But because I also have enough that if I go to company, go to services, truck dealers, Volvo, buy online, and then purchase you to go up there and have 3 people up here out at all times. Then we can go to trailer manager, the ones that aren't being used. I'm going to see if I can configure just the skin color again. Because what I want to do is I'm going to change you and we're going to follow that, and it's still going to stay within within it. Configure. And then let's go up here. Got from you, and then change our reefer out. Nope. And then our reefer can be like that. Okay. Having a couple of dry vans and a reefer up here, that's going to do us some good. Now, if I can go to driver manager, we're just up here, per player. Our main garage is Medford, for this. So, now what I'm going to do is relocate me driving the new Volvo VNL L, and then we're gonna go to truck to recruitment management. So we got a few drivers that we could hire. And then we'll put it, you guys up there. And then I believe we also have a Medford is gonna get upgraded. And then Los Angeles is missing a driver there. Okay, so you're driving the international there. There. Um International. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it that way. I don't care. Um, Now we're gonna drive in this new one. Trailer. I'm gonna take and drive the dry van. Here. Use. Yeah, and that'll feel nice. For us. Us to drive, and then we also got the cameras now instead of on things. So now Glass City's getting on here in a minute. Let's go to the external market. You're not gonna see anything up here. But we do have the cargo market. That's gonna take us 93 hours. Um, you're only going up to Golden. That's only a 4-hour trip time. I could take that immediately, but yeah, if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna take that one. So, anyway, we are getting somewhere. We've got the new Volvo VNL um, for us to start. Minimum 50 kilometers an hour, which is about 31 miles. There was a reason. Just so that I can experience a little bit. I know it's gonna be a little bit longer. But I don't mind having the camera set up in some of these things where... And then maybe we might try out the VNL electric as well. Um, because we haven't picked it up yet, so... Take that job. Um, and then uh, okay, I'm gonna still drive until 11. 11 unless otherwise stated. Until Glass Society is gonna get on, because I'm not going to ask for him to get on tonight, but because I'm not gonna sit and wait on people anymore. I'm just gonna play what I want to play. And we'll get into Fortnite later. I'm just going to play this for what it's worth. If Glass doesn't get on, and it's like he might have fallen asleep. But because I'm not gonna pick, I'm just gonna start just the only reason why I picked the new Volvo VNL for just this location, I'm only gonna have one location for each vehicle, but then I'm gonna stick with mostly international West. Um, um, because if we go to truck manager, most have been sticking with the international. Um, but I do have like Freightliner Cascadias as well. So I've been kind of going to have just to have one in every type of deal, but then stuck with international primarily. Um, just to kind of say that we're an international thing, um, but just to kind of say that we had some of these newer stuff because we're trying to branch out a little bit. Um, but mainly we focus on picking one. Guy, Watch for wildlife. Because I wanted to experience this new Volvo, and I love. But one thing I need to really send them feedback on, and I will send them a feedback, um, for it is to basically say, hey, you guys need to figure out some way to not see, like in my fleet configuration, like if I own the truck, but the dealership no longer is able to sell, um, just why? Use this to for passing. Yeah, as you can see, um, it's available for Europe for that one, but this one does this the old um, traffic sign setup is not set up for 1.5 1.59. So yeah, that one's not working here, which is dumb. Um, so I'll go back and put the red barriers back on. But I think the yellow barriers, I think what we really need to do is have like a yellow, but then have like a little bit of like a black kind of tinge around it. And then at night have it be um then at night be yellow at night. Well, yellow at night. Because it makes it so much easier readability. Um, but we'll see how things go. But then there was a thing that I wanted to share earlier with the trans stuff. I was going to share with more on an update. Um, but there was an update that was given to the um, um, that was available for. Hold on, I wanted to share. Sorry. Thank you. Um, yeah, there was a thing within Maine that the trans sports and bathroom ban referendum invalid over signature. Um, over signature forgery concerns and improper gathering. Was done. Now, of course, that's just the headline. I didn't like if that's the case, that this was improper. Then guess what? That's a good thing. That's actually a good thing that something like that. Then um you know, if you are somebody that is government candidate, a governor candidate, or a candidate for um, being able to get the things that need to be done, if you're a candidate for even legislation, um, just remember you may want to cater to, you may not want to cater to the 1% of people, but you should cater to the 1% because there's a reason. Um, there's a reason um, why you need to cater to the 1% and not just cater to the right, not just cater to the left, but cater to both. Um, not cater um, to just the 1%, but cater to everybody. But still, you need to make sure that if you're somebody who is um, not going to stand up for the trans community, you're there's a problem. I understand that you may be a left leaning person and disagree on LGBTQ, but if you're gonna be willing to vote on anti LGBTQ person, that then you are somebody that I'm not gonna stand with and not gonna speak to. If you are an anti LGBTQ person in any sense, you are literally part of that one party line, one ticket item that I always vote against. No, I am actually things that I do take into a lot of things that I do consider. Um, like I consider that if you are a person that's leaning to the left, or leaning to the right, or leaning towards um, uh, certain topics, Like, I will vote for you if you are going to stand up with the LGBTQ community. I will absolutely vote for you, hands down. Um, okay, but if I see like there's like three candidates out there, okay, three Democratic candidates or three candidates out there for it. If you are willing to, one, stand with the LGBTQ community, two, stand with uh and then you have the one that decides that you stand with anti um then you decide not to um and then you decide you're not going to support the uh you're sending to support the ID verification, you're then no, I'm not gonna vote for you. If you stand against the ID verification, okay, if you are um somebody that's gonna stand against the um uh stand against um environmental practices, um then I won't. If you're somebody that's gonna stand with helping being able to help with healthcare, being able to kind of lean towards universal healthcare in America, tax the rich, then okay, I will stand by that. I wouldn't mind if we started taxing the rich and saying they need to start paying 70% of their things, um, percent of their earnings, still being allowed them to have what they need, but 70%. Because I stand with Bernie Sanders on taxing the rich. I stand with Bernie Sanders on a lot of things. He's the one that I look up to um, for things. If you are anti data center, great, I will vote for you as well. Um, in regard to a lot of things, if you're if you're an AI data center, I will not vote for you either. Um, if you stand for having AI data centers on your, then I'm gonna stand against you. Okay, I am going to stand against you on those uh, making. Like I said, I can't not see you there. Um, But hopefully... I will be getting online as soon as I get this vehicle parked on the job. And I get my truck parked. Which won't be long. Hey Glass, I don't get the invites. You can spam with all the invites you want. It's not gonna change anything. I don't get. I basically don't get the notifications. So there's nothing you can change about that. Because I don't like getting a lot of notifications. The only time I have notifications is my phone, to be honest. And you won't get, and I won't get, and even if you do, you send the notification through Fortnite. I'm not gonna get the notification. Probably I'll get it through my PlayStation, but that's about it. Through my app on my phone, but I don't check my notifications on my phone either. So it's one of those things where I have all my notifications. I don't check them very often. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do check them. I just check only the important ones that I want to really have important. But I am actually liking this new truck. This new Volvo VNL. But I will be... Yeah, I have to realize that, that, um, some of the things that I always forget, like I forgot today, like that you know, when you drive over in Europe or in Euro truck or even in Europe in general, you can't necessarily I even in Japan you can't go um turn to the right on a red, which I actually think that's a great idea. We should implement that here in America, as telling everybody that you shouldn't turn to the right because it might save a lot more accidents and things along those lines. People get used to it, trust me. Uh huh. If I can get used to it driving in Europe, in Euro truck, driving on the left hand side or the right hand side, I can do both. People will get used to it. Are you? Huh, this is gonna take longer than expected. I have 3 minutes to get to the flag. Dang. We'll get on to some Fortnite here in a minute, guys. Alright, I'm gonna save it. We're gonna switch over to some Fortnite, for it. If you guys want to see, um, more, here on YouTube, make sure you guys are subscribed. I will take about 5 minutes. I'm gonna take a quick little bit of a break, switch myself over to get myself situated for playing some Fortnite. And if you're watching here on Twitch, um, basically make sure you guys are followed. If you guys gotta go, that's fine. If you're watching on YouTube, we will catch you guys tomorrow afternoon slash evening, because I will be on a little bit longer than normal. Probably will be playing American Truck or playing Final Fantasy 13. I'm gonna go to 13 probably, most likely, unless some major things come out that I really want to say because of it. But anyway, my streamer bot decided to crash out on me, so So that's fun. But we will catch you guys later on YouTube. So yeah, anyway,